to the Awakening podcast, our live stream. We're live on Freedom Broadcasters, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah, welcome to the Awakening Podcast. Find all our episodes on awakeningpodcast.org. For those that joined on the live earlier, I get taken off the main screen, so hence why Arnold reads out where we're live, and then I just go in. You find everything about me, scan the QR code. You find everything about Arnold. Go to braingym.fitness or go to rycon.com for everything I'm doing. So today, AI, one of our pet things that we've talked about a lot in the past. So we said an update would be of interest. So what have you got for us today, Arnold?
Yeah, I wanted to start today, Roy, with the kind of the big picture. Like, why is it there? Why is it the rollout? Why is there so much money behind it? Which is, if you look at it, is really incredible. I never seen any technology or anything else for that matter where they're putting billions, maybe even trillions into money into building data centers, infrastructure, software, buying shares in one company, and then if you don't like them anymore, you give billions to another company. So, but these amounts are like billions. It looks like peanuts. It like these amounts of money I think we never seen anything in history like that. The amount of money which is put there and the value which is in money. Like if you look at the most valuable companies right now, uh, everybody is involved in AI. Yeah, so it's not a car company or a food company or a bank. Yeah, those used to be the biggest companies in the world. Now everybody is related to this AI thing, whether it's people building well, let's say like OpenAI and Anthropic, Google, where they build the tools itself, but it's also a company like NVIDIA, which provide the servers. Well, it fluctuates, but a week ago it was the most valuable company in the world. So it was like everybody who's involved in this game is not a good word, but let's use it for the moment, is earning boatloads of money and value, and the guys running it, they have the shares, and the shares go through the roof. So it's really weird what's happening from a money perspective. So let's get quickly to what are they trying to do, and then there was
Actually, before you do that, because I think what I have here is very relevant, and then go into your thing. Michael Burry, he was the first investors to foresee the collapse of the US in the subprime mortgages. So he made a load of money in that. So 2005, he was able to predict that and they made a load on it, shorting it. They made the movie The Big Short, I believe, from that. Now, he shorted the largest AI stocks, most notably Nvidia and Palantir, because he sees signs of a classic speculative bubble that mainstream investors are ignoring. He argues that the AI sector is marked by extreme valuations, unsustainable capital expenditures, circular financing, and a dangerous reliance on a handful of mega cap stocks. He believes that if AI companies fail to deliver on their lofty growth promises, or if market sentiment shifts, these stocks could experience sharp declines reminiscent of past tech bubbles. So his view is that the market is ignoring mounting risks, overvaluation, unsustainable spending, and speculative excess. The AI boom is built on circular demand and hype, not durable fundamentals, and a correction is likely if growth disappoints or sentiment shifts. And if you look at that, it's like he not just the subprime, but he's made a few good predictions. We're not talking small money, like massive amount of money he's put on this. So his prediction. So, based on what you said at the start, he could be right.
Yeah, but it's and especially think if you're most of these companies, everything are US based companies, but think about they are currently having a government who doesn't pay its bills. Because there's no agreement between spending and what to do and funding of it. So that means if you are in the middle town or somewhere else, or anyway, you work for the central government, you get no salary. I spoke to someone that said, yeah, my son is 33, he works in the army, he doesn't get any salary. Well, the salaries of these guys are not big. So that means, well, they got to pay for their mortgage or their house rent, and soon they will run out of money. So you have a government who is kind of broke. Well, not kind of, is really broke. If you look at real numbers, they're broke. But what they're doing is constantly they increase the debt, and then they turn on the money machine. Oh, we got money again. Well, let's get started. Yeah, so but now in the AI thing, there's all the money is going in the AI thing, but is it really money or just paper money? I don't know. It's really weird. Yeah? So, and what they're trying to do, and they're even confirming it, is like building the biggest surveillance machine in the world because the AI can now analyze all the data. When you look at the IT, the information technology market, for the last, let's say, 5 years, one of the main jobs, which is really good paying jobs, if you were a data analyst, if you knew how to process and analyze and make conclusions out of data. So if you had a university degree, if you had anything, you're a data analyst, people would be standing in line for you. They would be queuing up to give you a job. So those were the highest paid job. You always would have a job. But now, from one moment to the other, the AI is taking over that job. The AI can process and analyze the data much, well, not even faster. It's incomparable. What a human would do maybe in a day or a few days or a few weeks, the AI does in seconds. So it's like data analyst gone. Nobody needs any data analyst anymore. So what they're building is this surveillance tool because previously it's like you would get so much data because if all 8 billion people would be surveillance and followed every moment of the day, you get so much data you cannot process it. You cannot process it and you cannot analyze it with humans. But with AI you can. And that is what they're doing. And that's why one of the, well, only for the insiders, but there's a company called Palantir. It's set up by a guy called Peter Thiel. Well, let's not go there. It's a really weird story, but Palantir is building that. They call it the hive mind, the central brain of the AI, because all of the data is look like your government, your police system, your tax system, everything is linked to Palantir. So Palantir, I think already, but very soon, will have all the data on everybody in the world. That is what a company called Palantir does. So that is what's happened. Yeah, is they will monitor you, they have your data, they analyze everything, and they can do it because it's no longer the limitation is the number of data analysts and good data analysts which you have. No, it's the AI doing it. Yeah? So it's the database, it's data, and it's the AI dealing with that data. And that is what's happening.
A lot of people, they're kind of brainwashed into thinking this is great. We track everything for safety. Everything will be watching, so we'll know. Anytime a crime happens, you ask Hey, there's cameras there. Now we've no access to that. There's like I've had a few situations where I've had crimes done against me, and I've talked to other people as well. And you would think something like that would actually catch criminals in the act. It's basically just if you're walking across the street, ooh, fine, take it out of his account. Everything is like going to be like that. And it's scary, but that guy is sharpened against that. So hopefully, because that's full control. And the thing is, when we were locked down, all these cameras were going up everywhere. Like I spot these things, like we're talking 10x or more in just the city I'm in. And if you're paying attention, you're like, what's going on here? They're everywhere. And even if you're driving along in the motorway, you're coming onto the slip road, you just see the whole time. You go under the tunnel, go by traffic lights, they're all hidden everywhere. Like every single thing you do now is being tracked. And I mean, I know there's like Peter Wilson and GDPR and things like that going into like supermarkets and stuff. You can use it. What right have they got on this? Have all governments said, yeah, we've the right to record and do what we want? Can we fight back? Not sure. But usually you need a lot of people to fight back instead of trying to do it yourself because it's easy to, I mean, as you know, with the censorship that we go through. So you need a lot of people to be standing up to this.
Yeah, but the cameras are even, in addition to what you just said, the cameras are even closer because we are talking right now into a camera. Yeah? And in these boys, there are cameras which are on 7 by 24. That's why you got to put them on the table upside down because otherwise it's registering everything. So
But even at that, sure, there's cameras on both sides now. So even putting them
yeah.
on,
And,
yeah.
and what we saw last week, there was on TikTok, which my browser detected, there are motion sensors. Yeah. So the TikTok thing with the motion sensors are like if you get hysteric or angry or whatever. Yeah. So that's built in. And so that's why I say people need to understand that the AI tool is part of the surveillance of the totalitarian system, and it's based on the control of you, me, and everyone. So, and yes, for the lazy people out there, it's a great tool because you can do in 30 seconds what otherwise would take you a day. Yeah, so that's why people are so enthusiastic because we humans have, and I think that's intentionally as well, we have built in laziness. It's built into our system. Yeah, so it's not to judge people. In essence, I'm also lazy. People wouldn't say that, but we're all lazy, and I have to fight it every day. And so it's built into our system. So people who are not fighting that system, they love the AI because it supports their laziness. Why am I bringing this up? Because there has been quite a number of articles about work slop. Well, English is not my mother tongue, but work slop, I understand, is that, well, it's like poor quality of work. And that people are like, well, we're not so satisfied about the AI as a productivity and everything else. Well, I think that is pretty contradictory because, yes, what is happening is that some employees, let's call them some, to be on the safe side, they use the AI tools to support their laziness and say, hey, I still did my work and it's all okay. But then their colleagues are like, but it's pretty lousy and it's incorrect and it doesn't work. Oh, okay. But I asked AI. So that's work slop. But that's why I would say, like, why are still people investing in AI? The past 3 weeks, I didn't add it all up, but I think only in the US there were at least 50, 60,000 people laid off. All the big companies from Microsoft to Salesforce to Amazon. Oh, Amazon was 30,000. Yeah? All people being laid off. That doesn't square with the work slop. If it would produce lousy work and lousy outcomes, you're not going to fire people, right? That's stupid. So I think that work slop thing is to make it like, to numb you down. It's like, AI is not so good. It's still humans who are good. Don't worry, everything is fine. Which is not, because still people are laid off by the 10,000s. And yes, there is some poor quality, but that's because of lazy people. That's got nothing to do with the AI. And yes, there is still a little bit of hallucination, and there's still some stuff which you need to check. Like I when was it? Was oh no, 2 weeks ago when we talked about the elections. Like my country was not there, so you still need to do that check. But even to get that list, normally it would take me a day, and now it would take me 30 seconds. So it's like, I think they're using this work slop and everything to numb you down. Is like, oh, you see, AI cannot replace me. That totally contradicts with all these numbers. And again, I'm only talking about the US with 50, 60, 70,000 people in just in the last few weeks. Well, add up all the countries in the world. So we're talking about millions of people who are getting laid off. We just don't get the numbers. So, and all these data centers being built and all that money being invested and everything. So it just goes ahead at very high speed, and we are numbed down like, well, it won't take my job.
And you're on about the laziness. I mean, I get pitched constantly because with the six podcasts, and I can see it's all using AI. Oh, I listened to episode this and da 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 da, and this is why this guest would be. And there's always a mistake in it. It's like the minute I start reading it, and the one that I spot always is the exclamation mark is everywhere. I mean, I've never put exclamation marks when I'm writing to anybody. But so even with like the Facebook and the happy birthday and all these messages are respond, every single thing is just easy. Press a button, press a button. So it means like you're connecting. But the problem is, they're not being genuine. They're just going, cut and paste, cut and paste. And if we go into, like you talked about all the jobs, like when like the 5G is all connected, so all the lights and everything that put in, which is connecting with the AI for the driving, because now they have a few vehicles that can drive and people, and then like I look here and it's like most of the taxis are gone. Now they brought in all the bolts and other, cars, cheaper ones, and people can rent the car. But you see more and more where the cars are driving themselves, and people are like recording it, thinking it's fantastic. Like everything is going to be like that, and I mean they're attacking cars. Oh no, no more diesel, no more this. Oh, must be electric. Eventually, cars will be so expensive. But how many jobs internationally is that? And there's so many dangers as well. I mean, we mentioned it. That was probably maybe 2 months ago. I was watching the truck, and there was a motorbike underneath it, and it was just driving along. Yeah, hopefully nobody was actually, you couldn't see it. But, and there's another one. It was in a shopping center, and it rolled over a little child. So these things are making mistakes as well, and they can be dangerous, and people just say nothing about that. So, like, there's another one now, and like I always look at the kind of pros and cons. So there's one, it's for weeding. It takes out weeds. So we're talking about soccer pitches, we're talking about golf courses, parks, things like that. And instead of using chemicals, this thing, it's about 100 kgs, goes around. It's like the Cybertruck, a smaller version of the Cybertruck, goes around and takes out the weed without any chemicals or anything. And you go, fantastic, that's brilliant. How many jobs of people are gardeners that are doing that job now? Multi-millions. And everything is like that. And nobody's looking at the bigger picture. And they're on about, social income and stuff like that. And that's like, Arnold, did you get your 54th jab? No, you don't get paid. So some people think, I'll be all right, you'll be looked after. And it is extremely dangerous. And let's hope your man Burry is right. And the thing kind of starts collapsing, because I'm worried. I'm scared. I just see it, and everyone thinks it's fantastic.
Yeah, that is why I brought it up in the first place, because people are lulled to sleep because it's like, oh, it's great, it's super, I like it. It can be more lazy, it does all this stuff, it's incredible. Well, number one, you again, I repeat myself, you have to understand that the goal is 100% control. It's not to make your life easier. That's not the goal. Have you ever talked or the Nvidia guy or the OpenAI guy or whatever? Yeah, well, even in addition to my rent, it was just a few days ago that the Sam Altman, he runs OpenAI, one of the main companies in this thing, and he said very soon AI will be capable of running a whole company, which means, hey, CEOs, and I'm sure 99% of them think, well, I don't care if the jobs of the truck drivers or the weed killers or whatever they get. My job is safe. No, it's not, my friend. It is not. Eh? I think CEO is one of the easiest jobs to do with AI. So it's like, yeah, instead of picking the weeds or installing refrigerators. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so it's like anybody's job. It's that's why I say we're lulled to sleep. Like, oh, it's fine, it's nice, it makes my life easier. It's total control. It's total surveillance state, and at the same time, like you just mentioned, like we said, and I'm sure we're talking about millions right now, millions of people losing their job for who there is no alternative. What are these guys who on golf courses, football courses, whatever, pick the weeds? What are they supposed to do? What job is there for them? Well, maybe building houses. Oh, we don't do that anymore.
And even at that, they even have the machines, the 3D print and everything is
Yeah,
kind of done in factories now that they just do a Lego system, which can be all done automated.
yeah. So, what is there for? Actually, I'm happy. Well, happy is not the right word. I'm glad you brought up the truck drivers and taxi drivers. That is the number one profession in the world. What does that mean? The most people in the world do that profession. I think number two is cashiers, which is almost already decimated. Yeah? But suppose you're a truck driver or a taxi driver. Actually, I know one who just lost his job. And so, what's he supposed to do? Nobody talks about that. Still not, eh? We've been talking on this podcast for maybe already years, yeah, but at least months we're talking about it. Hey, we need to give an alternative or a reskilling or training program to the people losing the job. And I'm 100% sure we're talking about millions. I haven't seen any program. I haven't seen any of these hot shots like what's his name? Wang, the guy from Nvidia. He's worth trillions, must trillions. Oh, let's have a new payment package. Let's pay the Tesla guys, which is, by the way, is making lousy success. It's like, oh, let's give him a payment package of 1 trillion. What? But does he care about the people losing their jobs? And does he talk about hey, we must find jobs for these people? Zero.
There's another element to this as well now. So if we go into the supermarket and Lidl, which is a big European one, but as far as I know, that's in the States now as well. And they really pushed all these self-checkouts. And sometimes you'd have a trolley of food and they're trying to push it towards that. And I constantly refuse. I go, no, open up the thing. But the thing is, there's a lot of elderly people, and their only form of communication is having a chat with the cashier. That's all gone. So now they have to go in and they're trying to figure out how to do this. The other thing then is when something goes wrong, red light goes on, sometimes they make you stand for 10 minutes. So it's not even they're not even making it convenient that you do it faster because you'd say, yeah, instead of queuing up in a big queue, I can do this faster. If there's something that the red light comes on, They don't even have the people to come along and clear it. So you have to wait till somebody comes to you. And yeah, and like if we look at, the robots that they're all doing, it's like I was watching one the other day now, and they have the guy inside in the kitchen, and he's cooking, and next the pan falls, and all the egg goes on the floor, and he slips, and then he walks into a mirror, and they're all laughing and joking at this, but there was one a household hacked household robots turned potentially dangerous. In one publicized case, ethical hackers took control of household robots. Their an example is Alpha 2 by Ubitech and made them perform actions like stabbing a tomato with a screwdriver, accessed their cameras remotely, exploited weak authentication and encryption. Like, that's a Terminator scene kicking in there, like, and that we've seen all the stuff with uh, cyber crimes and breaking into all this stuff, technology, everything as a leak. Like they're going to put all these robots because even if you have a cleaner in the house and a cook, and maybe you're paying 50 grand a year, just say it's the States where, maybe they're paying 25 grand or 50 grand even, and then they can buy this robot for 20 grand that works 24 hours and do all this stuff. Not only are the two people gone, that's a tracking device in your house. I mean, people with the ring cameras and all other stuff, I mean, they've all been caught with this device that we mentioned earlier. So now people are going to have stuff in that's going to be watching and like they just like you're putting trust in the people that are controlling this. All these people that are running all these things. Yeah, some people bow to them thinking that the best things in sliced bread. But if you take off the layers, they're extremely evil people that are creating this. And now they have full control over us.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get the message of today is like this is a control tool. This is not a tool to be nice to people and make you more lazy in your job and make your job more easy. No, it makes you lose your job and it makes you, well, maybe even lose your money or whatever, because this is a paradise for hackers. Because if I can hack the robot in your house and say, pick all the jewelry and the watches and the cash money and put it outside of the back door, he will do it. That kind of crime will explode. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah. So, well, perhaps that's how people will make money now. Well, you cannot blame them because how are they supposed to make money? My truck driver friend, there is no work for him. So what's he supposed to do? I think he's 53. What's he supposed to do? Or that maid who was cleaning and cooking, and now it's the robot. Yeah, but and she was in that way supporting because she had 3 kids at home, no husband gone. How's she supposed to support her children now? Yeah, we talked about Amazon. Amazon was it last week or the week before? 30,000 people. 30,000 people. That's a town. Yeah. And a lot of these people were working in these warehouses. Yeah. It's ugly work. Yeah. But still, they need to pay the rent. What are they supposed to do now?
And plus, we've discussed it, the knock-on effect. It's not just the 30,000, that's probably 120 between, spouses and children. And then the trauma of the children witnessing a parent that's going, hey, we can't afford the mortgage, we're going to lose our house. That's that's with them for life. That's why there's so many people that are depressed.
Yeah, and then they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Hey, we have some medicine for you." Huh? But it's not only the, let's call them blue collar workers, is now moving into white collar workers who are being dismissed, but it's also the creative worker. This week I had a email exchange with a, I don't know, well, let's call him a well-known musician in Los Angeles. So I was on his mailing list and he asked for responses about creativity. So I ended up having a mail conversation with him. So a well-known musician in Los Angeles. In his mailing, he mentioned, he says, Spotify, which is the well, not a, mainly the music thing, and he says it already receives around 100,000 new tracks per day. With generative AI tools, that number could double or even triple within the next couple of years. Well, he writes years, I would say weeks. Yeah? The same global streaming revenue will be divided among far more tracks. Artists, yeah, so he's talking about themselves, are already earning only 0.003 cents. That's not even 3 cents. That's, well, what's it? But 0.003 cents per stream, making it challenges for many to make a living with their craft. This oversaturation could make it even harder for emerging creators to sustain their work. So he says beyond economics, so which means there as AI, yeah, because already a lot of music is AI generated. So it's more tracks, more tracks, more tracks, more music. But that means for everybody, because if the revenue stays the same, everybody will earn less. And he's a well-known musician, but he's earning hardly anything. So he says, beyond economics, this moment raises a deeper question. If creativity, because writing music, making music, playing music, is a very creative act, if it becomes fully automated, where does the meaning live? What's the meaning in being a creator, an artist? And you can apply the same. He's in this case about music. You can apply it to painting. You can apply it to sculpting. You can apply it to anything. Where's people, all these design people or creative people, which I think we need in this totally computational society in which we live, which is totally forgotten. Oh, beauty. Oh, beauty. There's no more beauty in our society. And beauty, I mean nice buildings, nice pictures, nice statues, nice art. Everything is manufactured to mass production, and it's totally boring. Hmm? But even if you are a creator, how can you distinguish yourself and how can you still make any money? It's incredible, yeah.
I think because like I've got millions of downloads and both with the YouTube, even the Polish one and everything, I've got like maybe $1,000 that I've made from the downloads. And what I'm seeing is you look at the content and it's all AI. But I think now you have the likes of Facebook and YouTube and all these different platforms doing it because why would they pay somebody big money to get the millions of views when they could do that within seconds themselves? Because it's all about the eyeballs and people are paying hard-earned money for marketing dollars to try to sell the course, the book, the whatever. And like everything I look at now, like I love watching kind of National Geographic, that kind of thing. And now everything you're even looking at, that is all AI. They're making it look like a bear and a lion and all these different things. And it's like most of the content that's available at the moment is AI, which is like the artists that you just mentioned. There's some people that are really creative, they're funny, you enjoy watching a few of the things. Slowly but surely, their money's just disappearing. And I'm convinced that it's all these companies, they're doing it themselves. They're not going to pay, like if we decided, let's do AI and create all these different things, they're not going to pay us hundreds of thousands based on the download. They'll just do that themselves, which I'm convinced they're doing. There's no way they're paying that kind of money out. They're charging people to advertise on that. And every single thing is a bot. Every comment you look at, like there's so much bots out there that I tell people stop engaging. Like every single thing, you look at the profile and just the way it's done, even if the censorship, everything's like blasted and it says, okay, we'll check it and review it. And within 30 seconds, I've had stuff removed. We've reviewed everything and it's gone. Nothing is human. Nothing is. So you can't even go through it. But the amount of people now that had a decent income, which in turn has a knock-on effect, because they'll go to the hotel, all the money they're spending, it's not as if they're holding it in their pocket. That knock-on effect is going to affect everybody.
And it's already happening. And it's like what I think it was one of the main executives from Reddit, which is one of the main social media platforms, Reddit. He calls it the dead internet theory. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, and you mentioned even last week. He mentioned 51%, which was related to LinkedIn. But you and I think it's already much more. Is that everything is being done, populated by chatbots, AI communication, AI done articles, everything. So we don't own the internet anymore. We talk about free speech. Well, apart from the censoring and everything else, but is it free speech for humans or free speech for bots? Yeah, so it like the whole system has been flooded by this AI generated stuff, which again does the same as we with all the other examples what we just shared. It pushes us humans out of the picture because that's what happened. Yeah.
You've mentioned the internet there. I had loads of domains, different businesses that I've had, different things that I'm doing, speculating maybe, oh, I might use this later. Before you pay $10, what's happening now is there's some domains and their renewal. I've had a few of them, like the renewal is like $130. Everything just keep constantly going up, which in turn will they'll a very high percentage of people will go, yeah, I'm not going to keep this no more. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And we've no control. It's like somebody just decides to create a dot something and they charge what they want. But I mean, who I don't think I think they're totally controlling that as well, like because even if I mentioned this a long time ago, but all of your information it's never removed because I had Gmail that loads of stuff I deleted and I had to connect a Microsoft Office email system for one business I was doing and emails that I had deleted 5 years previous or more, every single thing came back. And I was like, ooh, this is scary. Like, so every single thing is out there and people think you delete it, it's gone forever. Nothing is gone.
No, that's what they use is AI training data. So it's like, yeah, well, we need to conclude today's conversation, but the main thing is I really hope that people wake up that yes, AI can do some nice things and can do things quickly, whatever. But basically these, well, let's call them benefits for the moment, they really, really don't outweigh the negatives of losing your job, losing your income, losing even possibilities of creating a future for yourself. And I'm not even talking about this Palantir. Well, it's not Palantir driven. Palantir is just a tool. This totalitarianism, this civilian state, which is, I think it's already there. Yeah, yes. So and I know you and I and others when I talk in interviews about AI and that is really not good for your brain and everything else, they look at me like, huh? Are you stupid? Yeah, or what Arnold, you're a negative guy. No, I know how to use my brain quite well, I would say. And it's the opposite. It's like if you're not careful, well, your brain doesn't matter anymore because it's replaced by AI anyway.
And unfortunately, the AI, no. Like there was a time you'd ask something, you get the information, or if you fed it good details, yeah, you can get nice stuff. But what it's doing now is it's asking you more questions, more questions. It's just stalling your time. And then when you eventually get what you're wanting, do you want this? Oh yeah. Do you want this? And before you know it, and spend it instead of spending 5 minutes like you would previously, you're an hour, and it's just constantly giving you stuff. Will you ever use it? Because you now have a thread of a massive amount of information, and I think that's all orchestrated as well, just to keep you busy fools.
So the main message is be really, really careful and don't be supportive at all because it will cost anyone's job. Like it said, that guy from Sam Altman, he knows what's happening. He knows the plans of the guys running the show, the strings. He knows them. And if he says that AI can run whole companies, that will very soon be the case. Yeah, and these, well, I will stop ranting, but these guys will be sitting in their bunkers while the AI is running their companies. Yeah, and you and I are starving for money on the street. That's what's happening.
Fortunately. So, as always, thank you, Arnold. You'll find Arnold on braingym.fitness. You see it above me there. You find everything about me, the six podcasts, scan the QR code or go to roycollin.com. And we've two school groups, one on the Podfather podcasting, another one on Brain Fitness, and you'll find the links in the show notes. This is the live. If you're watching the live, it won't be on that, but we'll add to it later. So until next week, take care.